Today we're going to talk about expenses, about the money I invest in making the game after a year. So, the first thing that I want to say is that I have two different types of expenses because there are some expenses that are completely related to the game and another ones that are not so essential or necessary. So the first thing it's software. I spend like 975 euros in software in this year uh, because I'm paying Photoshop, that's like 12 euros each month. I pay for Filmora, that's a video editor, it's another 80 euros. I recently started to pay for ZBrush, that's 500 euros each year. And of course, now another one that is Substance Painter, and 250 extra euros. So that's the total money that I invested in software, and almost all of this software it's like a borrow that I need to pay it all the months or all the years. It's not mine. Photoshop it's eternal. You need to pay every month to get Photoshop. So it's a really big problem for me because as you can see I spend a lot of money and I'm just starting. Okay, so the second related investment that I needed to do was my graphic designer because I'm not too good with graphic design. That's not my best work, and I hired a really cool graphic designer that she made me the the interface, the user interface. She makes the designs of Flamer and the logos that you can see as common role and all the things that of course are related with graphic design. And she cost me 570 euros. It's really cheap, I think, I must say, because I was finding searching for different graphic designers and seeing different prices, and yeah, she's really cheap. She's a really good talented woman that makes me a really good price, a fair lift price, because otherwise we're talking about easily another 2000 euros easily to do the same work. And the last and most important expense is about the assets. I need to buy assets for making to make the renders in that studio, and of course that means that I need to pay for almost everything. I need to pay for every wall, for every room, for every chair, every character, his hair, his clothing, everything. And I spent 850 euros on assets in this year. But I need to say that I usually buy the assets when they're in sale or when they make me a good offer, and that means that it could be really, 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 really expensive if I was only buying the assets when I need it. So it's quite important to find the opportunity to buy the assets when they are cheaper, because there's a lot of difference between the original price, and we're talking about 50-70% of discount, so it's important. So that means that I spent these 2,400 euros on the basic and really necessary things to do the game. But I have two other expenses. The first is my English lessons. I'm taking since January 2 or 3 hours each week of English lessons, and right now we're talking about 800 euros of investment. But it's not a really basic in expense for me, because I'm doing it because I really enjoy learning English and I'm using it for another things, not just for the game. But it's really related because I'm using all the things that I learn and I know because of the game, because I'm making the game in English. So that's another 800 euros approx that I invested on my English lessons. And now the last and most expensive thing, we're talking about the graphic card. I started the game with a 4070. That's a good graphic card, but it's not the best. And few months before, I took the decision to invest more in a 4090. That means that it's the top tier graphic card of the market, and it cost me, of course, 2,000 euros just the graphic card. But I need to say that, of course, I'm not using the graphic card just to make renders, but for playing video games. So it's 50-50. I'm using it not only for the game. But yeah, it's a really important thing for me, because right now I can make the renders really fast in a higher quality, and it's a really quality of life improvement to have a huge and strong and powerful graphic card. So with everything, I spent 5,200 euros on the project, and it's quite a lot, I think, in a year. But I don't care too much because I'm having fun, I'm enjoying the experience, and I have plans to sell the game sometime in the future. But yeah, it's a lot of money. But I'm gonna say that if you want to make a visual novel like mine without any money, without any investment, you can do it really cheap. The only thing that you really need is the assets, and you can make a really cheap assets if you are trying to make something more basic or less extravagant as I do. So with that in mind, now let's talk about my intentions with the money. Right now I have only two Patreons, and I receive like only 3 or 4 payments for my game. So I really winning absolutely nothing. Probably I won absolutely nothing. But I have 3 tiers of what can I do with the money that I'm going to receive with the game. The first tier is about 300 euros or less each month, that I'm using just to pay all the things that I'm telling you today. Paying the software, paying the graphic designer, the assets, my English classes, everything. So until 300, 400 euros, it's money directly reinvested on the game. After that, if I can reach like 1,500 euros, something like that, that's my main objective. It's when I'm finishing and getting my actual job, and I'm start to work like a professional on this every day, 8 to 10 hours, to invest more of my time, most of my time in the project. It's hard right now. I know that I'm really far away from that objective, but I'm keep going. I don't give up, and let's see what happens in a few months when I have the demo and I publish the demo on Steam. And the last year, it's more than 2,000 euros each month. With that money, I have plans to hire someone to help me regularly to make more renders or a better quality renders, and help me with the programming, and with anything I can need help. So that's all my money budget thing. I'm using a lot of money, and I'm receiving almost any money, but I don't care. It's fun. It's a wild project. It's really interesting, and I am enjoying. Look at me right now. I am Saturday on my free day. I'm working like a maniac as always. So I'm enjoying. I don't care too much about expenses related to the game. And my only hope is that the game at the end is a really good game and the people can enjoy it. So what do you think? I'm investing too much money? This is too much risky for you? What do you do if you earn money with your own project? I have really clear my objectives, and I don't know. Let's see what happens in the next month. See you later, guys. Bye bye.